From the dawn of time, humans have had many different forms of communication. From making random sounds to the beginning of calligraphy to modern-day iPhones, communications have changed exponentially over the years. This process, however, took hundreds of thousands of years, and most of the progression took place in the 19th century. The Industrial Revolution created many things that changed the way we as humans live our daily lives. From healthcare to technology, to things as simple as where we store our milk. However, one major outcome of the Industrial Revolution was revolutionizing ways to communicate through the telegraph. It made how we spread news to how we communicate with friends and loved ones completely different. The telegraph not only brought loved ones together, but brought the whole world together. Ever since language was created, people have needed a way to communicate.
However, it took anywhere from weeks to months to even years for information to reach places around the world for centuries. Before the telegraph, news was confined to the immediate area in which one lived. News did not mean a global phenomenon, but rather the local going-on and gossip.
So did you hear about the slave revolt in Haiti? They're an independent nation now.
What? A slave nation is independent?
Yeah. Oh, I don't believe you.
Henry Hudson, an explorer in the European age, took more than 2 months to sail from Amsterdam to New York City on his sailing ship, the Half Moon. Clearly, as this was the only method of transport before the Industrial Revolution, news and any sort of communications would take about 2 months to reach their intended destination. This all changed with the invention of the telegraph. The telegraph revolutionized how people received their news from across the globe. News is no longer really news once it takes 2 months to reach its intended place. Now, due to the invention of the telegraph, news took mere minutes to cross the Atlantic due to the underwater wires placed there in the late 1800s. The invention of the telegraph, while it took about 16 hours to transmit, was a massive improvement from 2 months. The capacity to move news and data quickly over large geographic scales had profound political, military, economic, financial, and social impacts. The telegraph revolutionized news communications, and in doing so, changed the world forever. The telegraph also revolutionized human relations across the globe and close to home. Previously, communities and countries were isolated effectively. Europeans weren't aware of the existence of the New World for hundreds of years, and even then, once one went to the New World, they often did not come back. Even in the 1800s in the United States, when you went west and family stayed behind, it was unlikely you would ever see or hear from them again. However, the telegraph brought them together.
Okay. Bye, Mom. I'm going out west.
Bye. Have fun. Welcome to the New World. What's your name?
Scott. Michael Scott.
You have a message from your family inside.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Wow, the telegraph from my mom is coming. We miss you and we love you. Thank God that the telegraph helps us communicate better so that we can communicate quickly over the ocean. Thanks, Mom.
Humanity was not united how it is now, with people across the globe communicating with each other and understanding each other. When one of the first telegraphs was sent, a reporter in London raved, "Tomorrow the hearts of the civilized world will beat in a single pulse, and from that time forth forevermore the continental divisions of the earth will, in a measure, lose the conditions of time and distance which now mark their relations." Nowadays, the hearts of all humanity do beat as one, with one purpose, one commonality, and one shared human experience, as opposed to before the telegraph, when families might never see their members again after moving across the country. As the authors Charles F. Briggs and Augustus Maverick astutely put it, of all the marvelous achievements of modern science, the electric telegraph is transcendently the greatest and most serviceable to mankind. The whole earth will be belted with the electric current, palpitating with human thoughts and emotions.
How potent a power, then, is the telegraphic design to become the civilization of the world? This binds together by a vital cord all of the nations of the earth. It is impossible that old prejudices and hostilities should longer exist, while such an instrument has been created for an exchange of thought between all the nations of the earth.
Case can be made, however, that the telegraph was not the most important invention. Rather, there were a score of other inventions with equal merit and importance created in the Industrial Revolution. Such inventions include the telephone, the radio, the phonograph, and many more.
The inventions obviously seem very important today, even more important than the telegraph. One must understand how these inventions arose. According to the Library of Congress, the telegraph and telephone are both wire-based electrical systems, and Alexander Graham Bell's success with the telephone came as a direct result of his attempts to improve the telegraph.
Clearly, today, the telephone is one of, if not the most important invention.
Therefore, the telegraph is more important because without it, the telephone, one of the most important inventions of all time, would not have been created without the telegraph.
Before the telegraph, communications were limited to writing letters that might take months to arrive and word of mouth. One might never hear from family members again if they moved away across the country or across the ocean. News and goings-on were limited to the local area, and many were never aware of important world events as they happened, and lived in utter isolation due to the lack of world exposure.
Invention of the telegraph, continents were connected, countries united, and human lives became a one collective human experience. Many people may argue that there were other inventions more important, such as the telephone, but without the telegraph, there would be no telephone. The telegraph was the first piece of technology to unite humans across the globe, at home and far away. Due to the telegraph, we, the people, experienced a collective human experience which without the invention would leave us alone. Because of the telegraph, we are one.